Well, we mentioned Palin and Bachmann, and we can't mention Palin and Bachmann without showing you a little bit of Palin and Bachmann. This was then with Sean Hannity last night.
I support Michael Still. I am glad that he is the leader of the party administratively, and if those within the party are choosing to go a different direction, his term is up in a number of months, and they can vote somebody else in. But I think he's doing a great job. Michael Still is an outsider. The machine is tough, I think, to penetrate.
Well, we found somebody who said that Michael Steele's doing a great job. There's a matter of time.
Take your friends when you can get them, I suppose.
All right. Well, we are joined now by Shira Tuplitz with Roll Call. Thanks a lot for joining. I think this is your debut appearance on Top Line.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Well, it's great to have you. Well, let's get right to that event. We also heard, and I'm going to ask to play one more little clip because I just can't get enough. They were asked also about the possibility of a presidential ticket, a Palin-Bachmann ticket. Here's the response.
Oh, goody.
How many of you would like to see a Palin-Bachmann ticket?
That sounds kind of cool.
All right, that sounds kind of cool, says Sarah Palin.
Not ruling it out.
So what do you make of this tag team?
Well, I had never heard that arrangement before, a Palin-Bachmann ticket. That isn't something that's been circulating in the rumor mill yet. I think that's pretty safe to say. Look, right there in Minneapolis where they had that rally, that is absolutely their base. It was a lot of Republican, a lot of female women, a lot of conservative women. Every screenshot you saw older women, you saw conservative women. It was really something. That was their crowd.
But seriously, though, if Palin ends up sticking to her job as a Fox News analyst and not a presidential candidate, is there a scenario where Bachmann could be recruited as a Tea Party candidate for president?
I think maybe a little bit in Michelle Bachmann's head. Look, she's ambitious. She's absolutely ambitious. There's no doubt. When Tim Pawlenty announced he was not going to run for a third term for governor, people were circulating her name a lot. She issued a statement that she wasn't going to do it. She is absolutely ambitious. I'd put it at a 0.00001 chance of it actually happening.
Of her getting the nomination, but running. Might come up a little higher. Okay.
One last question on this, because Democrats are actually raising quite a bit of money off of Sarah Palin these days. She put out that list of targeted Democrats, and those Democrats say they've gotten a boost in fundraising contributions. We're going to see another example where Sarah Palin is a stand-in, really the biggest spokesperson for the party this weekend. I don't know that's a good thing for Republicans, as much as she's still popular with the base.
I think it's a good thing for some Republicans, but not only is she a divisive figure nationally, she's certainly a divisive figure within the party. And I think a lot of Republicans, particularly people in Washington, wish she'd be a little less of a lightning rod. I bet there are some people in Washington who wish they got a bit of a heads up, perhaps, before she announced on her Facebook page that these were the candidates she'd picked. But this is part of her spiel, right? This is part of her shtick. She doesn't do the due diligence and talk to Washington, and it's part of the persona she's trying to demonstrate to voters, too.
All right, so are we ready to move beyond Sarah Palin?
Let's do it.
Are you ready? Okay. So you cover as closely as anybody the 2010 congressional races, especially the Senate races. Can we look at the kind of the Senate playing field right now? We talked a little bit at the top of the show about what's going on in Florida. Where do you see the Republicans coming in now? How many seats are they looking realistically able to pick up?
I mean, it's hard to judge right now. Democrats have 59 seats, including Lieberman and the independent senator from Vermont. All right, so 59 seats. If I had to guess, I'm going to put them in about 54, 55 come November.
That's a little more optimistic than some analysts who go in so far.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're going to end up. A lot of things to be determined. First of all, Crist.
Yeah, what is that? What is Charlie Crist? If he runs as an independent, I mean, are we talking about a potential there for Kendrick Meek is kind of, no one's really paying attention to that, but you all of a sudden have a shot if you split the vote.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely has a shot. Look, there's a reason Charlie Crist wasn't considering this before, at least publicly, and now is kind of hinting that he's thinking about it. It's because it's the only way he can end up on the ballot in November. He knows this by now. He has no other choice. Otherwise,
he cannot beat Rubio.
In the primary, not at this point. Not at this point.
So give us your house look. We talked at the top about a primary challenge in New York. That's not going to change balance. That's going to be a Democratic seat in Harlem.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, but there's a number of other seats
right.
that obviously are in play. What's your over-under at this point? You're looking at the landscape.
Oh, over-under. I'd say Democrats lose a net. Right now, I'm looking at between 25 and 30. And that's more conservative than some people. It's more liberal than some people say. But that's what I'm thinking, 25 to 30. It's going to be pretty bloody come November. That's just the way the cycle is. Democrats have won a lot of seats lately, and seats that weren't that favorable to them. It's just going to happen.
Did the healthcare vote change your number?
It changed which seats I think would flip. The guys who flipped votes I kind of looked at them a little differently, and I think some of them are better off because they flipped their votes, and some of them aren't. But it didn't change my number more than 1 or 2.
We are hearing from some Democrats who took tough votes on that it's helped their fundraising. They've been happy about this. The Democrats they feel like they're re-energized about it, whether or not it's something that they're talking about right now. Do you see it cutting potentially in that direction?
Absolutely. I've been very surprised. And I think the committees, the DNC, the RNC, have been a little hesitant, and the DCCC and the NRCC, those guys have been a little hesitant to brag too much that they made so much money off of voting for health care, because it doesn't look good to voters. We passed health care, look how much money we got. Doesn't play well with voters, all right? But yeah, I think both committees have raised a lot of money. Democrats have been more forthcoming with how much money they've raised. Maybe it's because they passed the legislation. It looks a little better for them. But I'll be very interested to see how Republicans' numbers come out. I'll tell you who to watch. Watch the NRCC, watch the DCCC, watch their March fundraising numbers. Those will come out on April 20th.
Because the NRCC's been disappointing, right?
They have
they
terrible
may not be
fundraising, abhorrent, just terrible. I mean, it's just awful.
So they've got to turn that around with something like this.
Something like a fourth of what the DCCC has on cash on hand.
At a
It's
time
just
when they
terrible.
should be raking in the money, hand over fist.
They should be,
pretty
they should be.
against right
So
now.
watch those numbers, and also watch the people who switched their votes. Watch for how
Gotcha.
much money they raised.
All right, we heard it here first. Shira Toplitz from Roll Call. Thanks for being here.
Debut appearance. Thanks a lot.
Twitter.com/TheNote. Keep the conversation going.